have a look at the situation. There's not much wiggle room there. Just arrived back from being away literally 2 seconds ago. It's 6:30 in the evening and I've got to try and get out. I'm going to reverse out, so let's see how this goes. To the side of me is the 1933 old working boat, Swan. Then in front of me is the Trent and Mersey Canal, and I've got to try to get through this gap under the bridge without hitting this gorgeous old working boat. I've got to turn left here at the junction and head into a lock. I've nearly done it now. She's just coming round. There she goes. Done it! Yes! Fortunately, I can speed up the footage because it was about a 300-point turn that got me into this lock. However, I'm here and I'm safe. So where am I on the map? I'm actually where there used to be an old chemical works called Brunnermond, and this evening's plan is just to go through a couple of locks and find somewhere to moor for the evening so I can get going early in the morning. I don't believe this. Obviously, it's been nothing but sunshine since I've been away here and where I've been down south. I can tell that by the garden. Get back on the boat. All these clouds have just come over. And this little garden, the one that looks after itself, is just thriving. It's doing an amazing job. Great to be back on the canals with the big skies and the brown water. Having said that though, being on land again and in a house just felt so comfortable and relaxing. You happy to be back, Seb? When I return to the boat after being away from it, I always start analysing how it feels to be back. The canal always feels like a completely different world to the land of roads and bricks. And I know its past life would have been very industrial compared to today. But its peace takes hold as soon as I step onto the towpath, regardless of whether I'm on the boat or not. I've just made a go. She's out. She's out. I wonder what that noise was. She was in the boat. She's okay. She's okay. And I've got all this unpacking to do. I took the washing. I mean, every time I go away, I take my washing. That's the difference when you live on a boat to living in a house. You don't normally take your dirty washing on holiday with you. I'm going to disperse all of this as if by magic in all the boxes. It's nice to have the plants brushing up against the glass of the porthole. Right, this morning I'm going to do the engine checks. So, I think that's what that yellow thing is. Okay, here we go. first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the water levels, because I'm going to do wobble, and W stands for water. The coolant levels are fine, and so I check the expansion bottle has the right amount in it too, which should be a tiny bit at the bottom, which it does, so that's all looking good. So O is for oil, so now I'm going to check the oil. Give it a wiggle waggle. Come up. Yeah, the oil's good. And the other thing I'm going to check actually while I'm here is I'm going to check the gearbox oil level. There we go. So that's okay. One of the B's in wobble is for bounce, so I check that they don't look too stretched and they're not cracked or ragged at the edges. So that's the bilge there. You can see the pump sitting in it, so it's only got a little bit of water. That's nothing to worry about, I don't think. And then if it gets any higher, the pump pumps that out. After the B's for belts and bilges, I also check the batteries. Ours are lead acid gel, so you don't have to top them up with deionized water like you would do with lead acid batteries. But I do notice something a bit worrying. There's definitely a patch. It's okay to drive today, but I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I'm on L. I've had a mind blank. I can't think what L is. What does L stand for? Lights? Lubrication, like putting liquid on things. Labrador? I'm just going to have to look up L because I forgot an L. Sorry, be back. L means levels of water, so and coolant, and I've done that within the water check within the W, so that's fine. So the E in wobble is for the engine, but before I check that, on Alice Grace we also have to tighten the nuts on the prop leading into the gearbox, and this is because she has a habit of loosening off, and we've lost complete steering sometimes, so we've been on rivers and canals. So Narrowboat will advise us as part of our engine checks to always tighten these nuts, and we've never had a problem since, so it's a massive filthy thumbs up for Narrowboat Will. That's a relief. Okay, come on Alice, we've got some cruising to do. We're gonna go. Come on then. Today's journey will take just over 4 hours as we continue northwards into new and exciting water. And we arrive at a junction where we have to decide which way it is that we're going to turn. Thinking about the things that I've missed about being on the narrowboat, and one of the things that really hit me last night was the fact I sleep so much better on the narrowboat than I do in a house on land. As well, the pace of this life is so different, and I really noticed that coming back to it. The exercise, it's a very active life, and you've got to keep moving on the waterway if you have lots to do. You know, emptying your toilet, walking to find rubbish, trolleying your shopping back, it is, it's a very active life. So actually I do a lot more steps. I think I'm a lot more active when I'm on the boat. Look at this, look at the orchids growing by the water in between the two locks. Marsh orchids. There's so much nature and wildlife to see when you're on the water, but even when I'm away, I'm still in nature, walking in nature. I think that being on a narrowboat and living like this, you're actually in contact with it a lot more frequently. There's lots of things I loved about being on land in a house as well. I loved being able to have a long shower, not worry about the water, and also how I was going to heat the water. I didn't have to watch battery levels, recycling was easy, and everything I flushed just disappeared. Also accessibility, because where I was very near shops and public transport. Zeph and I took the train about 3 or 4 times while we were away. You can still do those if you're on a boat, but you have to be conscious of where you've moored. And sometimes when you're mooring in places like that, you're compromising on the peace and tranquility around you, and sometimes even security. Maybe there'll be a day when I'm reluctant to return back home to the narrowboat, but it feels so right at the moment. The salt deposits under Cheshire were laid down in the Triassic period, and since the Romans were here, salt has been a crucial part of Middlewich's economy, and it still is today. The brine is so pure here that it's 8 times saltier than seawater. Oh look, you can ski down those slopes, that's amazing! Wow, so much salt. British Salt is currently in the process of regenerating land previously used for the industry into a 70-acre site of biodiversity. Okay, right away we've got a butterfly down here. Let's have a closer look. Right, this is good, because on the ragwort I've just been thinking, I keep seeing ragwort now but no cinnabar caterpillars. And there are some cinnabar moth caterpillars here. Let's have a look. Hello, beautiful. You're the colour of salt. That's my camera. Is that? No, there's nothing. No. And into the loch overlooked by a cottage where a well-known lady called Maureen used to live. She helped many boaters through this loch in her later life, but her early life was spent working the boats after she was kindly taken in by a boat family at a young age. She said, "I never learnt to read or write, but was taught important principles, as to never tell a lie and not to borrow from others." Maureen spent her life working on the canals, and her story still lives on today.
Water, isn't it?
It is.
Just get the water out of there.
I know. I don't do my veg with that though. Oh, hello. Hello, doggy.
It's a nice little garden you've got here.
Well, it was, but I went away for 2 weeks and it killed all my plants because it was the only 2 weeks I've had any sun. Are you gorgeous? Are you gorgeous? Yes.
Oh, she likes a cuddle.
Oh, she's lovely. How old is she?
Yeah, she's 9.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yay, you're gorgeous. Yay, hey.
Don't water them, it'll rain.
So? Well, no, they died while I was away in the sun, so I'm trying to bring them back to life with some food.
Okay.
Yeah, so they need a lot of rain.
That's quite a garden you've got there.
Well, it's all dead.
Yeah,
The sun killed it.
never give up on a dead stick, as my mum would say.
Compost in, yeah? There we go, there's a nice bag of compost there, isn't it? Got this. Look at this lavender stuff. Should we try and rescue it? Right, let's take out this bit of grass. It's very brown, isn't it? It's very brown. Oh. Just give it some water. Let's give it a trim. Did you remember the treats?
Yeah, straight for the treats.
She's so creepy.
Oh, bless you.
Even though my narrowboat garden is not looking its best, the towpath at the moment is looking particularly beautiful on this stretch of canal. mallards and the cardabees down there. The tides I am drawn to aren't tides at all, but they ripple sometimes in the breeze. They're rarely ever masterful, yet once commanded industries. They do not ebb and flow on sand, or carry surfers on their back. They cut a ditch within the land, where moorhens moor and mallards quack, where paddles clonk and lock gates squeak. No rush and crash of crests is heard, the crunch of towpath under feet, the beat of wings, the song of bird, the words of friendly passers-by are captured here amidst this sea, and this is all the reason why the brown canal is right for me.